here has ever been called a hurtful name? I know I have. This is an example of functions of language. Today I'm going to teach you guys about the functions of language. The three questions I will address are, what are the 5 categories of functions of language? What does identification have to do with functions of language? And what are language distortions? I received all my information from Communicating by Berko, Wolven, and Wolven. This is relevant to everyone here because if we didn't have functions of language, it would be really hard for us to communicate. Now let's look at the first question. What are the 5 categories of functions of language? There are emotive language, phatic language, cognitive language, rhetorical language, and identifying language. In emotive language, they are words that express feelings, attitudes, and emotions. They make your stories vivid and they make your audience pay attention. Examples of these would be you're happy, sad, angry, depressed, or joyful. In the second one, it's phatic language, which means to perform a social task, not to convey information. Example of this would be if I ask, hey, how are you? I don't really care how you are, I'm just asking because I'm keeping connections with you. The third one is cognitive language. This means conveying information. Example of this would be our speech to teachers, because we're teaching you something. Other examples would be pamphlets or lectures. The fourth one is rhetorical language. This means visuals influencing thoughts and behaviors. If you saw a piece of paper on the wall, it's just black and white and small, you probably wouldn't look at it. But if you saw a huge picture of something with big bold writing, you'd pay attention to it. The fifth one is identifying language. This is naming persons or things, and it's better understanding and for clarity. Example of this, instead of me saying she went to a store, I would say Sally went to Target, so people know more what I'm talking about. The second question, what does identification have to do with functions of language? Naming influences communication responses. There's 2 types of namings, which are positive naming and negative naming. Positive naming is like when Obama became the president. It gave him a good status. People looked up to him. He's a role model. Negative naming is like when Hitler gave Jewish people numbers on their arms and it took away their names, it took away their identity, and made it okay to hurt them. There's also hate speech, which are labels and they make people feel bad. Finally, for our last question, what are language distortions? There are 4 types of language distortions. There are ambiguity, vagueness, inferences, and doublespeak. Ambiguity is a word that has more than one meaning. An example of this is a hog. You could think a hog as being a pig, or a type of motorcycle, or someone who eats a lot. These can always be overcome with context clues. So if I said the hog on my farm, obviously you know you're talking about a pig. The second one is vagueness, which means it lacks clarity. I could say, oh, she wore a shirt and pants, but it'd be more clear if I said she wore a pink tank top with blue polka dots and blue denim jeans. The third one's inferences, which means jumping to conclusions. I don't speak Spanish, so if I saw someone speaking Spanish, I wouldn't think I'd be able to communicate with them, so I wouldn't go up to them at all. But in reality, they might also speak English, and I jumped to conclusions, so I didn't get to have a conversation with this person. The fourth one is doublespeak, which means misleading or distorting reality. I have a problem with saying, oh, that's really sick. And people might think I mean it's gross, it's disturbing, it's bad, but in my perspective it means, oh, that's really cool, that's awesome, I like it. In conclusion, language is often misinterpreted. The 3 questions I taught you guys about today are, what are the 5 categories of language? What does identification have to do with the 5 categories of language? And what are language distortions? Like Ernest Hemingway said, when people talk, listen completely. Most people never listen.